then up the Great Glen through Fort William and past the eastern side of Loch Ness to Inverness. Then back south again through Aviemore, Perth and across the Forth Road Bridge before turning east back to Glasgow on the Sunday night. On Monday, the second leg took them south through Newton Stewart, westwards to Dumfries, and then a Monday night drive northwards through Peebles and back to Glasgow for the finish on Tuesday morning. And it's in Glasgow's Blythewood Square that our report starts.
A little bit more opposition than there's been on the last two rounds. Obviously Mikel in the Peugeot and Michel in the Audi Sport, but the Scottish is a long rally.
It's the last loose surface event of the championship. Where does this leave you now? What's going to be the situation?
Well, I think to be in with a chance of winning the championship, I think it's really is essential that you must win here, really. So it puts us under more pressure, really.
You're going to win?
We're going to try.
But not if French girl Michèle Mouton can do anything about it. And to help her, she's got the latest 420 horsepower Audi Quattro Sport. After no less than 4 second places in successive years on his home event, Scotsman Jimmy McRae and his two-wheel drive Opel will be hoping for some four-wheel drive failures. Malcolm Wilson has been competing here on the Scottish for a decade, but 5 years ago his career almost ended on this rally with a horrific accident which put him out of action for months. Now he's back with a vengeance on top form and with newfound confidence after 2 fine wins this year. Following his good showing in Wales, David Llewellyn has proved that he can master an Audi Quattro. Now he's looking for his first international win. Making its first appearance on a Shell Oil's Open Championship round is Peugeot's four-wheel drive 205 Turbo 16, the car that is dominating World Championship rallying at the moment. It's being driven by Finn Mikael Sundström, who's only had time for just 8 miles familiarization with the car. Terry Cabey drives the Nissan 240 RS, recently rebuilt following his attack on the scenery in Ireland, and having another go here. Sweden's Mats Jonsson, driving his Opel Ascona, also has the scenery in mind, specifically how to avoid a stout granite wall in Glasgow's Bellahouston Park. With a new engine and gearbox just run in on the motorway north from London, John Hogland's Skoda 130 LR is set for another class win. This season, the Group A production car battle has developed into an exciting duel between Per Eklund's Toyota and Tony Pond's Rover Vitesse. However, Per Eklund's Toyota Supra has already stopped with prop shaft failure only a few hundred metres into the first special stage, so Pond has an immediate advantage. Rest and be thankful hill climb, and in appalling weather, Michèle Mouton leads the Lloyd's Bowmaker Scottish Rally. McRae charges up the hill in second place, just 1 second behind. While an enthusiastic Malcolm Wilson moves into third place, running with reduced turbo boost after a multitude of pre-event engine problems. David Llewellyn is fourth, just behind Wilson, but sadly he's shortly to retire with an electronics failure. Mikael Sundström is gently playing himself in to the art of all-wheel drive, but the Peugeot still set joint fastest time on the opening stage. Russell Brooks is sixth, despite a painful sprained ankle sustained while falling downstairs at home. And from Ireland, Bertie Fisher is looking very determined in the third Opel Manta. Sunday morning, special stage 16 in the hills overlooking Keswick Bridge, Inverness, and it's cat and mouse at the head of the field as just 19 seconds separate 2 dueling Audi Quattros. Michèle Mouton, having experienced problems with fuel pressure fluctuation and a hydraulic system's pump replaced, is using all the revs at her disposal and the rev limiter, doing everything in her power to stretch her lead. But the French girl is being remorselessly shadowed by a canny Malcolm Wilson, who is producing a superbly controlled performance to maintain intense pressure on the leader. Driving with commendable smoothness and style, and still with reduced turbo boost pressure, he knows he's still got something in hand. Wet, slippery and rough special stages are no place for two-wheel contestants when four-wheel drive is heavily in evidence. And predictably left behind in the fight for the lead, McRae trails Wilson by almost 3 minutes. But as ever, he's heavily embroiled in the GM Dealer Sport two-wheel drive race, leading Brooks' similar car by just over a minute. The latter having removed a brake servo intended to make the pedal pressure less of an effort for his damaged foot. Never one to be short of guts and determination, Brooks' pain-filled drive is a remarkable tribute to his courage. In the Group A class, Tony Pond's Rover Vitesse has damaged its suspension and dropped down the field, so class leader and 6th overall is Mike Stewart's similar car. Terry Caby's Nissan in 8th place is still not handling to the driver's satisfaction, despite some chassis work and a new back axle fitted at Fort William. But Sundström's Peugeot is getting quicker all the time. Despite being in the ditch for 4 minutes at the end of the 8th special stage, after hitting an enormous pothole, the Finn is fighting back hard, and he's now up to 8th place following 2 successive fastest stage times. Also fighting back from the worst possible start to a rally, losing almost 24 minutes on the very first stage with that broken propeller shaft, Per Eklund's Toyota Supra is now making impressive stage times, 7th fastest here in Newtown Forest. Drummond Hill, special stage 22, and the rally's moment critique as Michel Mouton, driving as hard as ever, is overhauled by an inspired effort from Malcolm Wilson, who records a blindingly fast 15 minutes 17 second time over the 15-mile stage. No less than 39 seconds quicker than the French girl. The Scottish rally has a new leader. Relegated to 2nd place and now trailing Wilson by 32 seconds, Michelle's answer comes here in Ladywell, where she claws back 4 seconds from the Englishman. Locked in a furious duel for 3rd place, McRae still holds the advantage, and despite driving the last 2 miles of Drummond Hill with a puncture, his lead over a towering Brooks has stretched to nearly 2 minutes. Brooks, though obviously feeling the full effects of his injury, has refused painkillers and is battling on in courageous style. The rivalry between the two men quite undiminished. But it's the end of the road for the Peugeot. In 5th place, Sundström is about to plunge off the road, unhurt, but out of the rally. Bertie Fischer is enjoying his best ever Scottish rally performance. He's moved back up to 5th place following Sundström's retirement, despite the odd touch of over-exuberance. Still, he soon gets going again, making up for his misdemeanor in spectacular style. Behind Fischer in 6th place now is Terry Caby, the Nissan driver gradually overcoming a number of handling problems. Second in Group A behind Mike Stewart is Andrew Wood in his Vauxhall Astra GTE, with a sterling drive despite a roll on Drummond Hill which cost him a minute. Eklund continues his fight back in the Duckham's Toyota. He's fought his way up to 30th place as tired drivers arrive back in Glasgow on Sunday evening for an overnight rest halt. Malcolm Wilson leads Michel Mouton by 38 seconds.
Malcolm was very, very fast on this stage 22, and you know, for somebody like me who doesn't know at all, it was very impressive to go. I was trying to go fast. I felt I was very fast there, but still Malcolm was very fast. and I lost a lot in this stage. If not, I think it was a big fight.
I didn't really anticipate to come in here leading, to be honest. I would have been quite happy to be somewhere thereabouts, but it's a bit of a bonus that we've got sort of 40 seconds really.
Do you think maybe be able to catch up tomorrow?
I don't know, but you know, we are very happy because in any case it's 2 hours di quattro leading, so it's the most important thing.
Does it all go well for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've been swapping stages from one to the other, you know, it's been very, very, very close. But we would like to think we've got a little bit in reserve, but not too much.
Monday morning at Carrick Forest in Glentrool, and Malcolm Wilson's problem today is to judge the pace accurately enough to retain his lead while taking as few risks as possible. But the French girl has other ideas. Showing steely determination, she's chipping away at Malcolm's half-minute advantage, pulling back 3 seconds here at Knockdown. It looks very much as though this is going to be a classic fight to the finish. And there's drama about to unfold in the Opel camp as McRae goes off the road at a deceptive brow in Drumjohn. A combination of a big drop and some rocks, bending the front suspension and jamming a wheel hard into the wheel arch. McRae has had to travel in reverse for 3 miles to free it off sufficiently to go forwards, losing 5 minutes and 3rd place. But Brooks too has hit trouble, having been forced to stop and change a puncture. Nevertheless, McRae's misfortunes puts him up to 3rd place with a 48-second advantage over the Scot, and amid all this drama, Bertie Fisher is still 5th. Terry Cabey is apparently yet another to fall foul of the deceptive brow and concealed sharp left-hander in Drumjohn, and the incident jams his gearbox. There's no alternative but to struggle out and drive 6 miles in 1st gear, dropping the Nissan from 6th to 9th. As one Rover retires, another takes control. After a superb drive, Mike Stewart has been forced out with axle failure. So after an event fraught with mechanical problems, Tony Pond takes over Group A. At the front, Malcolm Wilson grudgingly concedes the odd second to a charging Michel Mouton, who has closed the gap to 25 seconds, when here on Special Stage 31 in Kirktree Forest, a gearbox failure brings the Quattro Sport to a sad and permanent halt. With his injured foot aggravated by the puncture change and further pain inflicted by a rock thrown up into the footwell, Brooks is unable to keep McRae at bay. And as the Scotsman heads for 2nd, so Pond nurses the Computer Vision Rover into 5th place and another Group A triumph. Malcolm Wilson has driven brilliantly, conserving his car, applying and absorbing pressure, and concentrating 100% throughout. Co-driven by Nigel Harris, it has been a polished, professional performance.